Hey everybody. Um, I wanted to read the Bible. I'm kind of tired, but I felt like the Lord wanted me to do it to know whether I'm tired or not. I just want to say some of these things that I feel like the Father was saying. The more you surrender, the more you harvest. It is your choice. The more you surrender. Sorry about my dog. The more you surrender, the more you harvest. The more you surrender, the more you harvest. It is your choice, you guys. Your choice. The first one is James chapter 4, verse 8. Draw nigh to God, and he will draw nigh to you. Cleanse your hands, ye sinners, and purify your hearts, ye double-minded. The next one is Jeremiah chapter 5, verse 24. Neither say they in their heart, Let us now fear the Lord our God, that giveth rain, both the former and the latter, in his season. He reserveth unto us the appointed weeks of the harvest. Again, the more you surrender, the more your harvest is. It is your choice. Psalms Psalms 85:12. Ye the Lord shall give that which is good, and our land shall yield her increase. So again, about the harvest. How much are you wanting to harvest? Are you wanting to increase your harvest? Are you wanting, or you think, oh, it's good enough? It's your choice. It's my choice too. Some days I'm sure my harvest is better than others. So at least make sure we have a harvest to be harvested. Okay, the next one is, I don't know why I always think Romans is in the Old Testament. I think it's because it's called Romans. Romans chapter 12, verse 21. Be not overcome of evil, but overcome evil with good. That's the only way. And the only thing that I know that is good, like 100% good, is the Father in heaven. The next one is 2 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 10. Now he that ministereth seed to the sower both minister bread for your food, and multiply your seed sown, and increase the fruits of your righteousness. So the more you surrender, the more you harvest, the more your increase. We have to surrender to Him more. God knows I need to surrender more to Him. Every day we should be trying to surrender more to Him. And it's not easy. He never said it was going to be easy. First Thessalonians chapter 5, verses 16, 17, and 18. Rejoice evermore. Pray without ceasing. In everything give thanks, for this is the will of God in Christ Jesus concerning you. Pray without ceasing, you guys. I don't think any of us do that. Psalms 62, 1 and 2. Truly my soul waiteth upon God, from him cometh my salvation. He only is my rock and my salvation. He is my defense. I shall not be greatly moved. Romans chapter 1, verse 16. For I am not ashamed of the gospel of Christ, for it is the power of God unto salvation to every one that believeth, to the Jew first, and also to the Greek. The next one is Psalms 18, verse 8. It is better to trust in the Lord than to put confidence in man. You need to remember, guys, is always, never in a man or a woman. Because a man and a woman will always fail you. The Father won't. I can never seem to find this one very easily. Okay. The next one is Proverbs chapter 8, verse 20. I led in the way of righteousness in the midst of the punishment. If that ain't the truth. The next one is Exodus chapter 23, verse 16. And the feast of harvest, the first fruits of thy labors, which thou hast sown in the field, and the feast of ingathering, which is in the end of the year, when thou hast gathered in thy labors out of the field. So again, the more you surrender, the more you harvest. It's your choice. Sorry guys, forgive me because I don't have all that cool technology where I can just click over and go straight to it. I have to find it in here in Leviticus chapter 23, verse 22. And when ye reap the harvest of your land, thou shalt not make clean riddance of the corners of thy field when thou reapest, neither shalt thou gather any gleaning of thy harvest. Thou shalt leave them unto the poor and to the stranger. I am the Lord your God. Guys, we're supposed to help the poor. I don't care how much money you have, like, we're supposed to. Matthew chapter 25, verses 14 through 30. For the kingdom of heaven is as a man traveling into a far country, who called his own servants and delivered unto them his goods. And unto one he gave 5 talents, to another 2, and to another 1, to every man according to his several ability, and straightway took his journey. And he that had received the 5 talents went and traded with the same, and made them other 5 talents. And likewise he had received 2, and also gained other 2. But he that had receiveth 1 went and digged in the earth, and hid his Lord's money. After a long time the Lord of those servants cometh and reckoned with them. And so he had received 5 talents came and brought other 5 talents, saying, Lord, thou deliverest unto me 5 talents. Behold, I have against beside them 5 talents more. His Lord said unto him, Well done, thou good and faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful over a few things. I will make thee ruler over many things. Enter thou into the joy of thy Lord. He also had received 2 talents, came and said, Lord, thou deliverest me unto me 2 talents. Behold, I gained 2 other talents beside them. The Lord said, Well done, good and faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful over a few things. I will make thee ruler over many things. Enter thou into the joy of thy Lord. Then he which had received the 1 talent came and said, Lord, I knew thee that thou art an hard man, reaping where thou hast not sown, and gathered where thou hast not strawed. And I was afraid, and went and hid thy talent in the earth. Lo, thou hast thine that is thine. His Lord answered and said unto him, Thou wicked and slothful servant, thou knewest that I reap where I sowed not, and gather where I have not strawed. Thou oughtest therefore to have put my money to the exchangers, and then at my coming I should have received mine own with usury. Take therefore the talent from him, and give it unto him which hath 10 talents. For unto every one that hath shall be given, and he shall have abundance. But from him that hath not shall be taken away even that which he hath. And cast ye the unprofitable servant unto outer darkness. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Now, to me, this is not everyone goes. Okay? Now, the guy that had 5 talents and come back with 5 more, he said, well done. The guy that had 2 and come back with 2 more, he said, well done. It didn't matter that the other guy had 5 and the other guy had 2 more. It was the fact that they went out and harvested. The other guy hid his money. He didn't care to go and profit at all any of it. And he said he was wicked because he didn't go out and do anything with the money that the Father gave him. And he had to suffer the consequences of that. You know, it's not about much. It's the fact that you have it. It's not about having whether you have 5 or 2 or more. The other guy didn't get any more for his extra 5 than the other guy that had 2 more. The guy that come back with nothing more was the guy that had to suffer and pay the consequences. And he didn't feel sorry for him about it. He said, And I cast you, the unprofitable servant, into outer darkness. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. He didn't say, oh, I feel so sorry for you that you just money piece. No. He said, you're wicked. And that he casted him out into outer darkness. Weeping and gnashing of teeth. That's not good. We need to warn people of this stuff. Not pity the fool. It doesn't do him any good. I know that it is a just thing that in your heart you feel like you're doing, but in the long run, it is not helping that person. You see what I'm saying? I really hope so. You know what I mean? No more than anybody's personally attacking me by telling the truth is no more than I am personally attacking anybody else for telling the truth. It's, you know, the more you surrender, the more you harvest. It is your choice whether you want to bring 5 back or whether you want to bring 2 back. But if you bring 0 back, you will be condemned. Period. It's your choice how much you want to harvest. Do you want the Father to go, oh, you brought back 2, well, that's great. Or, oh, you brought back 5 more, that's great. You definitely don't want him to be like, oh, you brought nothing, so you're gone, condemned. So, but I would like to bring more to the Father, you know? That's the least I can do. And I know I'm not always the best at 5. I'm sure I'm more on the 2, or maybe even 1, or maybe even a 0.5 some days. But, you know, we want to make sure that we're speaking the real truth so that we are harvesting the 5 and the 2s, not the other way. Where was I? Okay. Yeah, I went through Matthew. Okay, so the next one is 1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 12. Fight the good fight of faith, lay hold on eternal life, whereunto thou art also called, and hast professed a good profession before many witnesses. So we need to fight the good fight of faith, guys, and hold on. We need to understand that no matter how much the world fights back at us, that we're to fight back with faith and know that the Father has got us. And many people are going to be witnesses to that fight. I don't know where to even begin this one. Hi, Derek. Thanks for saying hi. Have a good night. I know I'm kind of up late reading. Malachi chapter 3, verse 11 and 12. And I will rebuke the devourer for your sakes, and he shall not destroy the fruits of your ground, neither shall your vine cast her fruit before the time of the field, saith the Lord of hosts. And all nations shall call you blessed, for ye shall be a delightsome land, saith the Lord of hosts. So nobody's gonna come in and like take your harvest. You know what I mean? Like nobody's gonna come in and take one of your pieces that was 5 and make it into 4. Like God is a just God. He's gonna make sure that your harvest is weighed accordingly. That you are weighed accordingly. Psalm 67, verse 6. God setteth the solitary in families. He bringeth out those which are bound with chains, but the rebellious dwell in a dry land. And guess what happens in a dry land? You can't grow nothing. So we need to make sure that we're not dry. The next one is Isaiah chapter 62, 8 and 9. The Lord hath sworn by his right hand, and by the arm of his strength, surely I will no more give thy corn to be meat for thine enemies, and the sons of the stranger shall not drink thine wine, for the which thou hast labored. But they that have gathered it shall eat it, and praise the Lord, and they that have brought it together shall drink it in the courts of my holiness. Remember, our meat comes from him. He is who provides. spiritually meet too as well. The Word, He provides. Like, we should always ask ourselves, and it's such a good question with anything and everything that ever comes across in our life. Are you doing it for the Father, or are you doing it for yourself? And you know what I mean? Like, every decision should have that question first. And I think that's a really good question to ask yourself. Okay, the next one is Numbers. Numbers chapter 18, verses 12 and 13. All the best of the oil and all the best of the wine and all of the wheat, the first fruits of them which they shall offer unto the Lord, them have I given thee. And whatsoever is first ripe in the land which they shall bring unto the Lord shall be thine. Every one that is clean in thine house shall eat of it. So, again, a bunch of examples of what we should be looking like as far as the spiritual harvest. You know, what do you have to offer back to the Father for everything that He's done for us? And the more you surrender, the more your harvest is going to be, and it's your choice. It's like it's my choice. Hi, Brian. Matthew chapter 11, verse 28. Come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. I sure hope so, because I am tired from working today. But I felt like the Father wanted me to do this tonight. I was going to do it tomorrow, but then I thought, I prayed about it, and for some reason, He wanted me to do it tonight. So, I am going to do it tonight, even though I'm tired. Isaiah chapter 60, verse 1. Arise, shine, for thy light is come, and the glory of the Lord is risen upon thee. That was really pretty. The next one is Proverbs chapter 12. Yeah, it's definitely, I can totally feel that, Brian. I feel that battle, but like I said, fight the good fight. We can do it. It's not easy, but with the Father, it'll happen. Proverbs chapter 12, verse 14. A man shall be satisfied with good by the fruit of his mouth, and the recompense of a man's hands shall be rendered unto him. So we need to make sure that we have a good fruit, that we're speaking good things and also doing good things with our hands, and it will to us and to Him. The next one is Hebrews chapter 12. Verse 11. Now no chastening for the present seemeth to be joyous, but grievous. Nevertheless, afterward it yieldeth the peaceable fruit of righteousness unto them which are exercised thereby. And again, it's saying that is joyous but grievous. But nevertheless, afterward it yieldeth the peaceable fruits of righteousness. So nevertheless, even though it's joyous but grievous, even with the grievous, it's worth it. Totally worth it. The next one is John chapter 4, verse 35. Say not ye, there are yet 4 months, and then cometh harvest. Behold, I say unto you, lift up your eyes and look unto the fields, for they are white already to harvest. Again, the more you surrender, the more your harvest is going to be. It's your choice. Deuteronomy chapter 24, verse 19. When thou cuttest down thine harvest in thy field, and hast forgot to sheaf in the field, thou shalt not go again to fetch it. It shall be for the stranger, for the fatherless, and for the widow, that the Lord thy God may bless thee in all thy work of thine hands. To me, when I read this, it's symbolizing that you might have a little left in your field that you have not harvested, but he says, do not go back and fetch it, because it's for the fatherless and for the widow, that the Lord thy God may bless thee in all the work of thine hands. Again, it is your choice. Luke chapter 10, verse 2. Therefore said he unto them, the harvest truly is great, but the laborers are few. Pray ye therefore the Lord of the harvest that he would send forth laborers into his harvest. There are not very many that are truly harvesting. Leviticus chapter 19, verse 25. This is for the Luke. Brian, is this relating to those who resist? Brian, this is Personally, I'm feeling like this is for the lukewarm, but also for the believers that are harvesting, but they that are bearing fruit and stuff, and they are believers and they're trying, but they know that they could do better. Like like that. Leviticus chapter 19, verse 25. And in the 5th year shall ye eat of the fruit thereof, and it may yield unto you the kingdom of the Lord your God. Um, the more you surrender, the more your harvest is. And we have to ask ourselves, when we get to a point where we feel like, um, are you doing the best you could be for the Father? I keep asking myself that all the time. Like, am I really? Because I struggle with certain addictions still and certain things, and I'm like, I could totally do better. Am I doing better than I was? Yes. But, you know what I mean? I think the Father wants me to have those 5 extra harvests or um, coins than the 2 extra coins. I've brought the 2 extra coins. But he's like, do you really just want to settle for 2? Or would you like to go for 5? Like, where are we sitting here? Like, and I'm kind of like, I'm really kind of going for the 5. Um, but it's not easy. It's not easy going out. It's hot and it's hard work. It's you never said it was going to be easy. Um, um, and I wanted to say, ending this, that we have to stay strong. We have to fight the good fight. And we need to pray for each other. And glory to the Father.